Here we go. Let's start it up. Alright, stream test done. Wi-Fi off. Good morning, good morning. I think you guys are not really there. I think you've programmed the chat bot just to come on, to wake up at the right time of day, to come automatically over here and write Ohio, moin moin. I don't think you're really there. Type me something to prove that it's really you there, not just a chat bot. I'm here. It's just a bunch of imaginary robots, and I'm running my life around, scheduling my life around, talking to a bunch of robots. Wouldn't that be a joke? All right, you know what I'm doing here today? Yesterday was a diversion. She did a good job yesterday, actually, on her paper. I looked at it this morning. It's been hanging up all day yesterday. It looks really good. She's a tough girl. She's a good one. She doesn't complain. She works hard. She's strong. She's a good kid. Don't care if it's bots as long as they buy prints. Is that it? Well, actually, it's coming along well, better than I expected. Given the only time I spend on it are these morning streams. It's coming along well. This is the last of the boats. The part I'm doing now. The whole bottom area is finished. We've just got the actual wave itself. That shouldn't take too long, so it's coming well. Not quite sure when it will appear in the party room. I'm not going to put a date on it. Just it'll be there when it's ready. For the parties at present, we're alternating between the two images we currently have, the folktale image that's in there, and then the image about Sensoji Temple. And this one will go into rotation. And then we'll start thinking about the next one. We need more seasonal stuff for the party room. People ask about that all the time. They want a design of cherry blossoms or something at this time of year, So we've got to prepare some more seasonal stuff. And the other request we get all the time is people want more prints that look actually like old-fashioned ukiyo-e. That's what this one is, of course. We're doing a reproduction of an ukiyo-e, but they want other stuff. So maybe a bijinka, a beautiful woman or something. I don't know. That gets difficult, because it's so difficult to print hair and things like that. But I'm going to be careful here because some of these are staying on this block, some of these areas. Gotta be careful with what I'm doing here. combining two blocks here now. We're combining the key block, the one that has all the swirls, the actual lines of the waves, and we're combining it with the block that has the deepest blue. So this line and this area will stay on this block, and there will be wave, there will be foam cut out of it. It's very difficult to figure out here what I'm going to be doing, which one is which. It's really easy to cut away the wrong place here. That point stays as well. Someone's asking how many employees we have at the shop. I'm not sure how to count it, because remember, we have people who come here to the shop physically. Then we have people who work in their own homes. I just got a package of prints. I'll be showing it to you in a few minutes when I take a break here. I just received a package of finished prints yesterday from young Yamamoto-kun, one of the young printers here is working for us. And he works in his own home, but pretty much just for us. So do you call him my employee or not? He's not legally my employee. He's an outside contractor. He's a printer. But all his work comes from us, so basically he works for us in that sense. And Kubota-san, now one of the older printers, he's also working pretty much just for us. He's doing Heroes prints, just non-stop, one to the next, one to the next. So he's not my employee in a legal sense, but again, he's working just for us. So. Cameron just did the payday the other day, April the 5th. He paid everybody, and there were checks went out to 19 people. So there's 19 people who are actually our employee. Then there's those three guys, Numabe-san, Kubota-san, Yamamoto-san, who are working as outside printers. So I don't know how to count how many people work for us. I don't know. It's a bit of a mixed number. Also, just counting paychecks leaves one short because I don't get one of those, but whatever. There's a question in the box. Just a second here. Questions asking about the Gampi paper. Do we do anything special to avoid crinkling the Gampi when we glue it to the copy paper? He says he has to laminate tissue paper and it's messy. Not sure what to say. I know we don't use any kind of a water-based glue. If you try to use a water glue to laminate the two sheets of paper together, they're going to turn into a wrinkled mess. I use the spray glue, which doesn't wrinkle anything. It's a flat glue. You just spray one side, lightly put them together, and there's no wrinkling at all. If you're using a wet glue, it's going to be chaos. It's just a spray adhesive. I don't know, where your country is or what it's called. The one I use is made by 3M. They do them in numbers. They do spray glue 55, number 77, and number 99. Those are the brand names. And 99 is really strong. It's way too strong for us. 77 sticks and doesn't let go. And 55, the spray glue brand name 55, comes off easily. You spray it, it tacks on, and then you can lift it off and peel it off easily. It doesn't wrinkle at all. I'm not sure what you're seeing if you're getting wrinkling on your paper. We can't use a wet glue at all. Hay fever season is hitting a little bit here now. Today's Sunday, and hopefully it'll be a bit quieter than yesterday. Yesterday was the last few days. Each of the days in turn has been the busiest day of the year. It just sort of breaks a record every day. The first week of April here is the top of the cherry season. Even though the cherries now in Tokyo are pretty much finished, we're still in the height of cherry tourist season. I did the bookkeeping last night after the store was closed, and compared to last April, we're at, I think it's 82% of last April's sales volume. And it's only the 7th of the month. And we just have no idea what's going to go on, where we're going from here. It's just exploding now every day. I was supposed to work downstairs last night. I didn't even open the shutter. It was impossible. People are asking about the next Patreon prints. I've got the key block finished. I'm supposed to do color separations. They're going to have to start printing really soon. They're supposed to be shipped in May. I've got to do those color separations. We've got a new person started training a couple of days ago for the shop here. On our Japanese website, we've got a page up, staff boshu, looking for staff. This is for people who can do the shop in the print party room. This is not looking for printers. This is looking for shop helpers. And over the past couple of months, we've had a few people come in and try. A young man started just the other day. He's done a few days already. He looks good. He's not productive yet, but he looks promising. So he's done 3 days with us so far. And he's eager. It's good. He came in with a big smile at first, wasn't embarrassed to come and talk to me. So that's the first thing I want to see. And he's eager to help. On his very first day training the other day, it would have been Wednesday was his first day. He comes in, watches one print party. He did one print party as pretending to be a customer, because he'd never seen them before. So we just, here's your apron, get it and do a print party together with these foreigners. So he did one print party. It would have been Wednesday morning. Then for Wednesday afternoon, we just told him, look, hang around, just stay in the room, just watch what's going on, just drink it up, just do this, do that. And he started joining us as a staff member. He wasn't just watching, he started chatting with the customers, and he picked up enough from his first run through a print party to be able to help them a little bit with the next print party. So this was a really good sign for me. He looks competent, big smiles and competent. So we'll see how it goes. So yesterday we gave him his staff number, put him into the database. And we'll see how it goes. So we might have one more person here to help with the parties. His English is not great, but it's manageable. Now that area stays, this area goes. Excuse me. Yeah, the hay fever's got to me at last. I've been really, really good. And if I'd been living out in Ome in the countryside, it would have been really bad for me all this last month. But here in downtown Tokyo, it's not so bad. So I've made it through so far, but it's catching up to me now. So. Excuse me. Oh, look at this stream. Boy, oi, 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 oi. It's using a stick glue. No, I don't know about that. The glue for this can't be transferred, eh? Even the stick glue, I think, has liquid inside, so. Seems okay. Not so many questions for me. It's all right. Lots of little curves here everywhere. I've got the knife sharpened a bit of a rougher angle than I would probably need to. To go around corners like this, you need the knife really sharpened at an acute angle, but it really makes it liable to break. So I've sharpened it down, not as acute as it should be, because I really don't want this thing to sit here breaking every 2 seconds. So it's making the carving a bit rougher than it might be, but again, this is an adaptation of a print. This is not a cloning level reproduction where it's got to be exactly on each of these lines. These things need to look like rough waves. It's not a perfect reproduction here. I've shrunk the image down and we've simplified the image. So these are not hook-sized lines we're carving directly now. This is an adaptation that looks like the Great Wave. When I did my own reproduction of it a couple of years ago, I tried to get exactly as possible each line in the same shape and mood and taste as the original. That was the idea of a reproduction. But what we're making here this week, this time, it's not a reproduction, it's an adaptation. So all I need here are lines that look like waves. They don't have to be molecularly exact as hook size original. Oops. Round and round and round we go. Which way here? Let's go from down here. suppose I should check now and then what's happening over here. We're chatting about other stuff, college and stuff. Okay, hi. Do I use music when I work? I used to when I was all by myself. Over in the Ome workshop, I had a really, really nice sound system. Sometimes I just listen to the river, sometimes play sounds. And here in the shop, it's really not practical, you know. But yeah, I did. I listened to music all the time when I was carving. When you're printing, it's a different story. In fact, Shiba-san and I were talking about that yesterday. Those of you who were here on the sizing stream yesterday, Shiba-san and I were lightly chatting about that for a while, you know. I think somebody had asked about music or something. And she says she'd rather listen to heavy metal while we're doing this. You know. And for us, carving is okay, but printing there's a rhythm to our printing. Eh? When you're printing on the back of a sheet of paper, it's shoop, 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 you know, depending on the block that's in use and, you know, what size impression it is and stuff like that. Each impression has its own rhythm. And if you've got music that's going on with a heavy beat or something like this, it's really difficult to keep your baron, to keep the printing pad moving properly and easily. And also you've got to be able to hear it. This was something I didn't know before I started this work, you know. When you're printing, it's the sound of the tool on the back of the paper, which is also a big hint about how the impression is going. Of course you can see it, of course you can feel it, but it's also the sound of the thing. Yeah? Not like the carving now, but the printing. If you're playing loud raucous music, you can't hear that, so it's case by case, you know. She said heavy metal, but whatever. Over to you, lady. I couldn't do that when I was printing, not at all. And the sort of downside of this, and my kids used to rib me about this all the time, is that because printing requires music without a steady, heavy beat, I would end up sometimes listening to a lot of New Age music. New Age, you know, Newage, rhymes with sewage. New Age music, because it was sort of beatless and formless, and you could have it on in the background while you were printing and it wouldn't disturb the actual physical motions of the printing, you know. But what drippy stuff, you know, just sort of brain mush, you know. So a lot of the CDs I was using in those days, it was all, you know, CDs before the internet and stuff, so is, you know, New Age music, you know. But these days, no. I just sit here. And the speakers in the Ome workroom are silent. They haven't been used for years now. I had a big bass woofer lined up there too. It was a concrete room, you know, totally isolated from the outside world. Those are wireless headphones. It doesn't help. The point about having beat music is that your body feels it, whether it's wireless or not. New Age. I don't know. I can't keep track of all this. I'm sorry. The semi-joke I was making about the nuage. I was, whatever. I guess it must have been one of my daughters or something one day. She saw some labels on my record collection or whatever they were. And one label was, New Age. And she didn't know the word, but she knew the word sewage. Sewage. So she pronounced it newage, as in sewage. And it became sort of a joke around the house. This is David listening to that sewage music again, I have mixed feelings about it. I was a would-be musician many, many years ago, and to me now, a lot of that new age music, the noodling piano stuff, is just mindless, boring pap. And some of the groups that are or were doing things were much more musical. So it's case by case. I'm not willing to diss the whole genre categorically, but yeah, a lot of it is newage, as in sewage, I think. Mixed feelings about it. Anyway, moot point now, because I don't listen to much of it anymore at all. So, where am I here? Outside seems to have quietened down a bit. There's a bunch of noises that we get from the nearby buildings here. One of them is the giant air conditioning systems from the local, there's a shopping center mall just one block down, and their air vents and air conditioning system faces our way, so sometimes that's really noisy. And then this morning, somebody in the batting center, there's a game center and batting center just across the alley from us at the back. And during the winter, it's not a problem at all, because everybody keeps all the windows and stuff tightly closed because it's cold and things like this. But come the spring, those guys, they open up their windows up on the third floor, or they do when they forget. And today's Sunday morning, and the batting center opens at like 7:30 on Sunday morning, because a lot of high school kids come. They bring high school groups in groups. They bring a gang of them in by bus or whatever. So lots of high school kids do their batting practice here on Sunday mornings. And they're all using aluminum bats. And when the windows are open, it's just unbearable. It's just solid crack, crack, crack. Aluminum bats. There's like 10 stations all in a row with all these high school kids. And it's non-stop smack against the bat sound. And it wasn't me, but I guess people in other buildings around here, probably before I even came here, they started demanding of those people, look, you got to keep the windows closed because it's unbearable. Constant smack of this aluminum clink, clink, clink all day long. So they do. So we normally don't hear it so much. But this morning, somebody over there forgot to close the windows. And starting at about 7:30, about a half an hour before I started streaming here, the kids strolled in there and started their batting practices. It's like being in a war zone. I guess one of the neighbors must have phoned them up or something before they remembered, and they closed their windows just before our stream here started. So. But if their windows were open on a Sunday morning, I almost wouldn't be able to stream here because of the constant noise from the batting center. It also goes late at night too, because people take their girlfriends' dates. It's a date place, You take your girlfriend out for the evening and talk, what do you want to do? Let's go to a batting center and smack some balls around. Not exactly my idea. It's a thing. So late in the evenings too, 10, 11, 11:30, 12. There's people over there batting away into the night. It's part of a Taito station. It's a main arcade company, game arcade company. Just part of life in Asakusa. I can faintly hear it now. They've got the windows closed, but I can still faintly hear it. I don't know if it's picking up on the microphone. All the aluminum bat sounds. Clink, clink, clank. Lots of questions here. I see my name in lights. Do I have any favorite type of lines that you like to carve? And some that aren't as likable. There's the answer I'm supposed to give to that question, and then there's the real answer. Whatever. The answer you're supposed to give is like when someone asks you, well, which of your kids is your favorite kid? You know, of course, you have no answer to this. You like all your kids the same, you know, whatever your kids, you know. And if you're a craftsman who carves, then you don't have dislikes and likes. You know, the classic answer to that question, you know, if you're a chef in a hotel restaurant or something, we've talked about this before, you know, and people order, you know, strawberry desserts or something, you know, and you don't like strawberries, so you're a chef. What do? You know, you put aside your own likes or dislikes and you make a nice strawberry cake, because that's what you're supposed to do. It's your job, it's your profession. So that's the answer you're supposed to give as a craftsman. You know, you don't mix your own likes and dislikes with the work. If you're an artist designing and creating something from zero, then of course the thing that you're doing reflects your own interests and abilities and likes and dislikes. But when you're working as a worker, as a craftsman, as a hired person, you know, to do a specific job, then there's no, you know, you're never supposed to think about such things as your own likes or dislikes. You know, obviously, the work would be affected by it. You do a good job on the stuff you like, and you might do a bad job on the stuff you dislike, you know. So that's the classical answer to the question you're posing there. You know, what's your favorite type of carving, etc., etc., etc. You know. But then the interesting part of the answer really is that we are human beings, and we do have preferences and likes and dislikes. And of course, and part of the professional worker's job is to recognize this and to make sure you don't let it influence you too much when you're doing your actual job. You know, that hotel chef I mentioned, you know, he might really, really, really dislike strawberries. Okay, but you got to face up to that and still use those materials to make a nice cake, because that's your professional approach to it, you know. But of course I have likes and dislikes. I don't so much like the hokusai lines, the wiggly, jerky, scratchy, back and forth, tension-filled lines. I'm a more simple guy. I'm a more quiet guy. Shiba-san yesterday was talking about death metal. I don't like that kind of stuff at all. So the hokusai, wiggly, jiggly, tension-filled lines are not to my taste. Of course not. Well, I probably mentioned this last week when I was carving the blocks for this year's Patreon design. John Amos sent them in, you know. I probably said again and again and again, wow, such smooth curves, nice curves, love this, dig this, really enjoying this. Because I enjoyed carving those beautiful smooth curves that John had drawn on that design, you know. And while I'm carving one of these hokusai things with the wiggly jiggly tension stuff, you'll never hear me say, wow, this is so much fun, wow, cool, look at this, full of tension. You know? Of course not, because it's not my character. So, you know. I don't like tension, and these lines on this wave and the original that I did, you know, of course they're full of tension. You know. When you carve a hokusai, you become a hokusai. Did I hear the question beep? I think there was it a moment ago while I was chatting, while I was talking now. I think there was a question in the box. Let's see. Someone's asking, would you speak some thoughts on regularly streaming on Twitch? Just wondering if I can expect to see more of you working live. Well, no, there's no way I'm going to try and do more. I'm doing already, what is it, pretty much 90 minutes a day, 6 days a week. And if we didn't have a shop here, and if I were a permanent craftsman doing nothing else but carving and or printing, then yeah, I could stream more. If I was just working here all day, it's no pain to me to leave the camera running. So yeah, there would be more streaming if I were just a craftsman. But my life these days is not just this carving and printing. If you're new here, perhaps you don't see the other parts, but I'm a business manager. We run a shop, a very busy workshop, publishing company and shop here in Asakusa, Tokyo. And I'm the owner, general manager, and blah, blah, blah. So a great deal of the work I do every day, a great deal of the number of things I do every day are not streamable on Twitch. So no, there won't be a whole lot more than what you're getting just now. This 90 minutes a day is the time of day when I schedule the parts of my job that are streamable. Today it's carving. Yesterday we were putting glue, a glue mix on the paper, you know. Tomorrow I might be doing whatever color separations on something. So no, there won't be more than what you're getting now. I'm sorry, you know. And honestly speaking, I think it's kind of enough. 90 minutes a day of a viewpoint onto a craftsman's workbench here in Tokyo is a pretty fabulous opportunity for people who are trying to do this craft. It's a fabulous, fabulous resource for people, and I think 90 minutes a day is enough. Plus, we've got back streams, you know. The streams are all being archived. People are putting them on YouTube, and I've got a lot of my own streams up there as well. My own videos up there as well. So I don't feel I have a responsibility to do any more than I'm doing now. As to what do I think about it? Yeah, it's good fun. It's opened a new window for me to be able to feel a more direct connection with the people who are enjoying our work. Not all the Twitch viewers are customers or collectors in the sense of buying prints, but it doesn't matter. There's no distinction at this end between people who are supporting our work just by watching it and enjoying it, and people who are supporting our work by, you know, sending in orders and buying prints. It doesn't much make any difference. That's party reservation is perhaps for today, so let me just check it and see what's happening here. Party reservation. Yeah, it's for today. 10 o'clock, group of 2. Hee hee hee. There we go. Look at this, people booking less than an hour before the party is due to start. So let me just check the staff schedule here just a moment. Make sure this is all teed up. Manager page. Log into the staff. Oh, it's okay. Okay, Kawai-san and Nakamura-san are here. They'll handle that. 10 o'clock, two people, no problem. I can forget about it. So I'm not sure if that answers the question. The technical question, are there going to be more streams than what we have here now? In the foreseeable future, absolutely no. And in fact, when we do start getting construction downstairs, moving ahead a little farther, there might be less streams because I should be taking some time off to get busy on the construction work down there. So, and then the more general aspect of the question, what do I think about streaming? I'm having a ton of fun with it. I love it. It's great fun. You know, if the technical capability had been here years ago, well, I did. I tried years ago. We had a webcam, what we called the woodblock webcam. It was in my Ome workshop, and we're talking about maybe the year 2000 or so. It wasn't hide video streaming. It was a photograph every 8 seconds or so, allowing you to see what I was doing. But yeah, I've been hip to this for quite a long time, so. One thing I haven't done that I meant to do is myself sit down with my computer, log on to Twitch and explore and see what other stuff is going on. You know, when I did inspect Twitch last summer when we started it, I looked around a little bit and it seemed to be hunting. It's gaming, of course, which is what it was designed for. And other than gaming, what did I see? There were a few people like doing stuff like playing piano and playing pop songs and stuff while people listened and taking requests, things like that. And there was one, I think a couple of guys in Australia were doing some woodworking things occasionally, a couple of times a week. But I didn't really explore too much, and perhaps it's changing now. Are there a lot more streams like this one, people making things, or craft streams, or what would you call them? I don't know. I'd be interested to hear if somebody's got some links they can drop in for me that I could see. You know, other people doing something similar to what this is. Because when I checked last summer, I didn't see much of such like this. But I imagine it's growing. I don't know. I'm sure we're not that unique. I think that little bit was technically a mistake. I think that part should stay in as dark blue. This is going to stay in as dark blue. And this will be dark blue with some foam circles cut out of it. So I think that little one should also have been dark blue. And this should be white waves. I think it's theoretically a mistake, but not like anybody in the world would ever notice that at this point, in the middle of all these waves. One piece that is now going to be white, but maybe it should have been blue. Those people this morning are lucky, you know. Somewhere around 9 o'clock they decided to make a reservation for one of our parties and got one at 10 o'clock. That is really, really lucky at this time of year, you know. Here in the second week of April now, it's almost all sold out. There's not so much spaces left. And as soon as 3 slots are sold for each day, I open up a 4th slot at 4 o'clock. I don't open that up early because we don't want to get a situation where we're doing 4 parties a day with 1 person in each party. So. But after the first 3 parties, the 11, the 1, and the 2:30, after they're pretty much full, then I open up the 4th one at 4 o'clock. Sundays always are a bit of a light day for us. It's funny, we expected Sundays would be totally crowded, but they're a bit lighter for us. I'm not sure why. if our clientele were just Japanese local, then the weekends, I guess, would be quite busier. People would be out and around on the weekends. But that's not our clientele. Our clientele are tourists, people traveling in Japan. And Sundays seem a light day for some reason for these reservations. I don't know why. They can't all be off to church somewhere, obviously. But questions. What's the percent of your parties being tourists versus Japanese locals? I don't know the exact number, but it's high. We're 80-90% tourists, absolutely, maybe 90% more. We're not so well known in Japan itself. Most of our fans and people that follow our work, whatever the YouTube viewers or people that have seen the heroes, we're not well known within Japan itself. We're on TV now and then as a sort of a curiosity and a variety program. And after each TV appearance, there's a little spurt of Japanese interest. But we're not well known in Japan. We don't have a good YouTube channel. Our Facebook presence is minimal. Our blog is poor quality. It's sort of on our list of things to do. It's supposed to be one of the things Cameron is supposed to be working towards, to increase our presence and our face in Japan. But at the moment, no, we're very much an inbound looking organization. Inbound meaning that's the word they use for tourists here in Japan. The inbound is growing year by year. And all of this will change or may change when we open the downstairs shop as soon as it gets open, because then we'll be visible to people walking down this street. At the moment, for the most part, the only people who come in here are not people casually walking by on the street. They're people who have specifically come to see us. They've known about us through social media or our own work or Kickstarter or you name it. And they come here to see us, take some pictures with me and chat for a while and perhaps sometimes buy some prints. Far and away, this is the biggest number of people who come to see us. Once we're open downstairs, it will be people walking by who will see the shop. Oh, that looks interesting, I'll go inside. So things are going to change for us, we guess, once we go downstairs. I mean, that's why we're taking on this challenge of paying much higher rent. We actually don't need it for our business. We've run quite successfully without having a visible street location. So our things are going to change for us, obviously, over the next few months. What time is it? 9:20. Look at this. 9:20 already. I've done nothing this morning but a half a dozen curves. Shoo. This must be Kawai-san or Nakamura-san. Kawai-san. It's a man's footsteps, I think. I get this wrong so many times, but let's see. Yeah, it's Kawai-san. Heavy. Good morning, sir. How are you doing? 今3分前ぐらい、10時のパーティーの予約。今4人になりました。そう。 Come say hello. You're in here. This is Kawai-san.
Good morning. おはようございます。
今日朝早い裏の台東ステーションのバッティングセンター。いつも日曜日は7時半ぐらいから始まりますが、もう春になったんですから、窓はポン開けたまま。やっぱり高校生たちの団体が入ったんですけど、みんなアルミバットでバタン、バタン、バタン、バタン。10人、20人ぐらいがバタン、バタン、バタン。クンクンクンクンクンクン。始まったんです。冬は OK。冬は窓が閉まったんですから、暖かくなると窓が開きます。いや、だから僕の声じゃない。やっぱり住んでる人から電話あって、close those fucking windows, whatever. So the rule is they've got to keep the windows closed. もう決まった商店街と話あったずっと前。多分今日掃除の間に窓開けて、掃除用意して、7時半から営業始まったんですけど、すっごい音が出たんですよ。5分ぐらい、10分ぐらい。それからすぐカチャカチャカチャカチャカチャカチャ。誰か電話して、そうですよ。すごい音でしょ。雨みたい。ティンティンティンティン、ポン、ティンティンティン。It's really loud.
バイトの人が来ちゃった。バイトの人がもう暑いから開けて。
うん、そうかな。そう知らないんです。
経営者のクレーム来るのかと。
そう。僕ちょっと離れたんですから、人が住んでますよ。もう道の向こう側、バッティングセンターの窓と人が住んでる窓もう3メートル、4メートルしかないんですよ。日曜日朝早い高校生たちが来る。大谷になりたい人。
大谷だ。今もう大谷だ。大谷の時代が来たな。
時々イベントありますよ、日曜日の。有名な、ジャイアンツからの人とか。そう。
なんか、見たときある。なんか、
イベントありますよ。
有名な選手、OB の選手が、目の前にいて、タレントと一緒でやってるの見ました。
そうか。
結構有名な。
バッティングセンターに3回とか、時々そのイベントありますね。
野球の選手。結構有名なんですよ。あそこのバッティング、浅草のバッティング。昔から。
あ、そう？
有名なんですか？
バッティングセンター。
なんか結構昔からあるやつが有名なのかな。
ああ、そうか。
多分もしかしたら。
じゃあ大谷とか。
大谷はやって。
でも他あるからね。そう。
東北だっけ？
そうか。
もしかしたらそれやってるやつも。
The baseball world here in Japan, especially the kids. We're talking about the high school kids doing their baseball practice next door in the batting center. The baseball world here in Japan is going a bit nuts right now because of the young boy, Otani-san. He was Japan's hero baseball guy last year, And of course, he cut and run, left the Japanese system to go over to the major leagues. And if you follow baseball, you know what's happening. The kid is going, he's just blowing things wide open, And Japan is going nuts. That Japan will supply the next Babe Ruth and things like this, So every game he's in, this whole country just comes to a standstill. Taxi drivers play it, whatever. Everything comes to a standstill while they watch the kid go to bat, So I don't know how long it's last. We've seen this before. There was Ichiro a while back, Suzuki before him, Matsuzaki Daisuke Toka, whatever. And this kid is the latest sensation. And it's a huge, it's very mixed feelings for people in this country that this boy left. He was a superhero here, doing really well in baseball here. And of course, these kids all want to challenge the major leagues. So it's a bit of a sad feeling too, because just when they get good here, bang, out they go, and that's it, where they're gone. But at the moment, right now, every one of his games and plate appearances and everything just paralyzes this country, because everything stops to watch. Middle of the night, whatever time it is, doesn't matter. I think, I'm not sure exactly, his first pitching appearance or something, his first start, I think is coming up in a couple of days. And up to now, he's played offense. And he's going to have his first pitching appearance, I think, in a few days. So. It's been funny because through spring training, he hasn't done all that well. He didn't impress so much. And people were thinking, here's another Japanese star that may not be able to cut it once you get to the majors. But either he was just biding his time or it's taken him a bit of time to figure out how to do it. I don't know. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but this baseball news here in Japan, it's just been too much to ignore, you know. It's in our face constantly, this superhero boy going over there and doing so well in the majors, you know. So far anyway. Maybe they'll figure him out and shut him down, but at the moment he's kind of doing well. What else needs to come out? This is wave, this is foam, this needs to come out here. Okay, I'll be getting ready to shut this down, 9:30 or so in a few minutes, and I'll get on to the rest of my work today. I've got lots of help in the shop today. The party reservations are low, and we have 2 competent people, Nakamura-san and Kawai-san. So they're probably going to do all the parties today. I did 5 yesterday. And the 6 the day before. Whenever there's 2 of us, for example, me and Kawai-san, or me and Teiko-san, or me and Nakamura-san, I'm the one that has to be the leader, of course. I can't stand there on the sidelines while Kawai-san runs a print party. It's just not possible. You know, his English is okay, but not so great. So when there's 2 staff members together, Kawai-san and Nakamura-san, they do the parties. But when one of the people has to be me, then I end up leading it. So the last few days it's been me plus a staff member. So I've been leading all the parties. But today I'm off. It's got a good chance to catch up on some back work. Those color separations can get started. So what's the stream going to be? Today's Sunday. Tomorrow's Monday. We have one more day before we take our weekly break on Tuesday. So I'll be here tomorrow, and I'm not sure. It'll either be just a continuation of this work, or perhaps it'll be color seps or carving on the Patreon chibi blocks for 2018. I'm not sure which it'll be. Anyway, okay, let's zoom out. Have a look at this thing. For those of you who are fairly new here, don't know what this is a version of the famous Great Wave print. It's going to be for use in our print party room. So we've simplified it. We've shrunk it down. The original is larger, like this. We've made it smaller, but we didn't just Photoshop it, zoom, 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 smaller. We redrew it smaller. Because if we took the thin lines and shrank them down, the lines would be far too thin on this one to do for our print party. And we've simplified it. Like I said, there's 8 little men here. We've changed it to 3. We've drawn the lines fatter. The print will look like the Great Wave, but it will not be a line-for-line reproduction of the Great Wave. Instead of 8 blocks, it's going to be 5. 2 layers of blue, a sky, a boat, and then a gradation behind the mountain. And that's going to be fun for our party attendees. Anyway, that's it for me today this morning. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, it's been a bit of a quiet stream for me. Sorry it's not been so exciting. Look at this. Actually, this is coming along very well. I'm very, very happy. Looks good. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. I'll be back here tomorrow morning with something going on here. Okay, thanks for watching again, and see you soon. That must be Nakamura-san coming. So nice to have 2 competent staff members here to do these jobs. Okay, guys, thanks again, and goodbye.